G'day everyone. A little bit late with this today, but okay. So the tropical low is formed and weak out in the off the northwest coast of WA. Now we're going from Tuesday now, so this is a couple of days' time. So let's have a little look at what the updates are showing, and I'm going to go through a few other ones today than I don't usually do. So okay, so it's formed. So obviously there's going to be a high percentage of a tropical low out in the off the northwest of Australia. It will probably hang around out there for a few days. It may not reach tropical cyclone strength now. Modeling's not like it was certain it was the other day. Now it's not so firm on that, but the low's out there anyway, so there's a tropical system out there, and as expected recently, is it's not going to affect the mainland at this stage. It's just going to hover around out off the northwest of the country. Now there's another little low that started spinning up just to the north of the top end. It's still a little way out, so it's not really doing much for us in the top end up here. Right now as I record this, it's pretty much sunny and a lot of blue sky around, so which has been different from the last few days, which have been completely cloud covered. But like this low that's currently northwest of the country, the one just to the north of top end is expected to drift to the southwest, and the modelling shows that as well. If it survives long, doesn't look like it's going to last too long, but it should provide some more decent weather for the northwest top end, western top end area, and the northwest Kimberley, the North Kimberley. So let's just have a little look, keep looking. So as you can see, that low out in off WA is just weakening as we go on, and the chance of it holding its tropical low strength drops as the days go on, and it's very much unlikely to, well, I wouldn't say unlikely to form into a cyclone, but yeah, modelling's not so confident on that anymore. But it's out to the fishies, so it's not really too much of a concern for us over here at the moment. But yeah, there's definitely some areas of interest popping up along that northwest coast, as well as remnants of the tropical low out off the WA coast. It could come back, but it looks like it's just going to die out in the Indian Ocean. So that low that originally is formed up north of the top end will drift southwest and most likely just die off. But as we move forward, you can see that the chance of a tropical system forming in the Gulf increases still. So there's a few, as I said yesterday, there's a few interesting weather features for this month, which is December. I think yesterday I may have said November in the video, but I did actually put November in the title, which I've corrected, but it was meant to be December if I did, and thank you to the guy that spotted that in the bomb radar group. I appreciate that, because sometimes I rush these out and I just kind of go on autopilot. So I was actually wrong earlier with saying that low that comes down from NT looks like it would die out. It actually might. It has a bit of a higher risk of actually doing something out there. So we'll see how that tracks. Now, what I wanted to do was flip to windy and just show. So here we have that low out there, and then the low just to the north of the top end. And we'll just, this is the EC modelling again, and I'll just show you it in more real time. See that? This is why I said the actual side tropical low north of top end looks like it may die off, is because the actual wind profile, surface wind profile on windy, shows it collapsing. So we'll just keep going forward a little bit. So yeah, see, it's disappeared. Mostly there's just a tiny little bit of disturbance, and that's about it. So we'll just keep going forward, and we'll see that. Now see, that low off the WA coast does intensify pressure wise, but if we just bring this thing over, little crosshair thing, and you can see that the highest wind speed is about 50, which is still tropical low strength. So the EC modelling, which is generally the most accurate for tropical weather, it's just not. And this, I used this when I was forecasting tropical cyclone Lincoln earlier in the year, and why that I said that it wouldn't intensify in the Indian Ocean, because it just wasn't showing it. And this seems to be the same case, that now it's just not going to get that intensification. As I said the other day, I haven't really looked too deep into it of why, but my guess off the top of my head would either be high vertical wind shear, or possibly dry air coming in from the desert. But most of Australia is seeing high humidity at the moment, so that dry air is probably not the case. But I will have a look into it later and bring it up in tomorrow's update. So let's just move up a bit. So as you can see, it holds its tropical low and moves away, but that's about all it does in this case. Just hang around with the fishies before it dies out there. And then we've got another low there. There's a few disturbances up in the Gulf. Let's just have a quick squiz at access, which generally isn't the best, but we'll have a look anyway. So there's our little low out on WA. So let's just have a look and see what they reckon. So there you have it. Even that's why BOM have only a moderate chance for it. It's just not looking like it's going to gain that strength that it originally looked like it would. So I don't want to look at cams. And then just now when I came onto here, I did see that little area of interest up near the top end. So let's have a little look at that. So there we go, we've got another little low pressure system off the top end again, which does line up with the EC cyclogenesis modelling. So yeah, that's another little low that's gonna, looks like it may spin up and move west again. So that's two modelling, and let's just have a quick look at everyone's favourite, GFS, which usually is absolutely terrible with tropical weather. But of course, being now it's got the low up there. So let's see what it says, how it tracks. And it seems to be for the most part the same as everybody else, except it also has that low coming off top end as well, or off the northwest coast, that one reckons. But GFS being GFS turns it into like a mega cyclone that will destroy the whole of WA. But yeah, that's GFS for you. Although it's put it at that low 971 and only a category 1 cyclone, so not quite end of the world GFS stuff yet, but So GFS has to be special, of course. It often does that. Right now I wouldn't put much credit into it. And I just wanted to bring up one last thing before I sign off for today. Just the bombs outlook. So tomorrow gives it a low chance of developing into a cyclone, and then you have 05U, which is that other low that I brought up. So they seem to mostly have low 2U has a moderate chance, but I don't see it right now. And the 05 still seems to have just the low chance of hovering off the northwest coast there to the end of the modelling. So we'll see what happens. That will swap and change as they always do. But well, there we go. That's today's look at stuff. See what's going on, and tomorrow I will look a little bit more into the wind shear and exactly why that tropical low off WA isn't going to intensify, or doesn't look like it's going to intensify, I should say. So thank you everybody for watching again, and I will do another one tomorrow.